It is I, Philly Jim, coming at you with another video. And today I am interviewing the center of the Philadelphia 76ers, Joel Embiid, who's coming off of a 31 point, 7 assists, 16 rebounds, 6 block performance against the Brooklyn Nets. Joel, what are your thoughts about Skip Bayless and his recent hate comments towards Carson Wentz?
I mean, first of all,
Breaking times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up shit.
What's going on, everybody? This is your host with the most, Philly Jim, coming at you with another video. And as we know, the draft is on Thursday, so that means the time has finally come for me to make my second career mock draft. I don't know how long some of you guys have been following me here on YouTube, but my first career video, it kind of sucked. I went back and watched it the other day. It was my first video, and it was about the draft. It was about the 2018 draft. I did a mock draft, and it was my channel launch. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first video, blah, blah, blah. Please subscribe. And it was really kind of corny. When I look back, I see, how much of a long way I have come making videos and stuff. But without further ado, here is Philly Jim's official mock draft for the Philadelphia Eagles for 2019. So, the Eagles' first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, pick number 25, the Philadelphia Eagles select defensive tackle from Mississippi State, Jeffrey Simmons. So I've been reading a lot of your guys' comments lately, and I've been paying attention to Twitter and other things just to see what other fans have to say. And a lot of fans are not too thrilled about taking another defensive tackle, taking another defensive lineman, taking another defensive end, or a D tackle. Well, here's what I have to say about that. Of course, I always respect everybody's opinion, but one thing I can tell you is that you do not want to pass up on the opportunity to draft one of these defensive linemen, especially when you get a guy like Jeffrey Simmons in this building. We all remember what happened the last time we took a defensive tackle from Mississippi State. His name is Fletcher Cox. You may have heard of him. He's an all-pro. So you get Jeffrey Simmons in the building, a guy who some draft scouts and experts and analysts and stuff, they really think this guy, if he wouldn't have got hurt, he would have been top 5 draft pick. This guy, he has that much talent. Unfortunately, the only thing I can say that there's not like that you can't like about Jeffrey Simmons is he has had some character issues. There was a pretty bad video of him throwing punches at a woman. But that was when the guy was 18 years old. He's a freshman in college. I think he deserves a chance. You get him in the building. Unfortunately, he did tear his ACL at a workout, so he will not be playing right away. So the Eagles have to have a plan in place. There's going to be defensive tackles on the free agent market that you can bring in to fill that void for the time being. But drafting Jeffrey Simmons is more for the long term. He could really turn into another Fletcher Cox, and then come next season, or even the end of this season, even heading into the playoffs, you could eventually come to a point where you have 2 Fletcher Coxes on the field at the same time. That's the kind of ability that Jeffrey Simmons has. That's what he can really do. I have Jeffrey Simmons coming to the Philadelphia Eagles with the 25th overall pick. So now, that brings us to the second round. And on day 2 of the NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to select a safety. We have Malcolm Jenkins getting older. We have Rodney McLeod in the last year of his contract. So with the 53rd overall pick in the draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Nasir Adderley, the safety from Delaware. Nasir Adderley, there's a lot to love about this guy. He's explosive as an athlete, very good lateral quickness. He has the ability to really cover a lot of ground when he's playing the center field. He can cover, he can hit. High motor, very high motor. He loves to play the game. You love to watch him play the game. And on top of all of that, the guy has experience at cornerback and at safety. And as we know, what do the Philadelphia Eagles love? What does Jim Schwartz love in his players? Versatility. We just talked about Jeffrey Simmons. Well, Jeffrey Simmons, you can line him up anywhere on the defensive line. They love. That's why they loved Brandon Graham. You go back to the play that won Super Bowl 52. Brandon Graham, who's an defensive end, he's an edge rusher. You line him up inside. They did the same thing with Michael Bennett. They love Malcolm Jenkins because you can use Malcolm Jenkins in the box. You can line him up as a linebacker. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up. He can play rover. He can play center field. He can do it all. Nasir Adderley has that versatility as well. So I think the Philadelphia Eagles take Nasir Adderley with the 53rd overall selection. 57th overall pick. The Philadelphia Eagles select running back from Penn State, Miles Sanders. I know a lot of you guys are Penn State fans, and you know about Miles Sanders, and you knew about him last season, which is his first season, finally getting a shot now that Saquon Barkley is no longer there. He really had the opportunity to show out, man. And as you guys know, my first edition of the Draft Room was about Miles Sanders, and he had that run against Michigan State where he breaks a tackle and he cuts it to the outside and he goes for a long touchdown. You would have never guessed that was Miles Sanders because he literally looked like Saquon Barkley on that play. Miles Sanders is a great player. He has very good feet, amazing jump cut ability. He was very much involved in their passing game at Penn State this past season, 2018. The Eagles love this guy. There's so much noise about Miles Sanders to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles get Miles Sanders in the second round. Before the Jordan Howard trade, running back was probably the biggest question going into this draft. What are the Eagles going to do? Do they want Josh Jacobs? Do they want someone else? I think Miles Sanders is the guy that they want. He could potentially pan out to be a guy who people are not quite sure about going into the draft, but after his first season, people will get to know what type of player he can become. It reminds me of the Alvin Kamara situation, and I really don't like Alvin Kamara, but I'm gonna try to avoid talking shit about him for a second and just think about when Alvin Kamara was coming out of Tennessee. Well, he was like a third round pick or something. He turned out to be a very, very good player. I think the same thing can happen with Miles Sanders. I think he can wow some people. He's got a lot of juice to him, man. There's just something about him when you watch him on tape, and there's something that pops out to you. I got Miles Sanders coming to the Philadelphia Eagles with the 57th overall pick. Well, we're kind of to the point where we get to the fourth round. Unfortunately, the Philadelphia Eagles do not have a third-round pick. However, it remains to be seen what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do about that because they could potentially trade back from one of their second-round picks and pick up a third from some team that doesn't have a second-round pick, such as the New York Jets. But for the sake of this video, we'll just go with what we have for right now, the picks that we have for right now. And once we get to the fourth round, a lot of guys that are going to be big-time difference makers are probably off the board unless you can find yourself a gem. in this draft. Like last season, Vontae Maddox, he was a gem that was found in the 4th round. Can the Philadelphia Eagles find another one of those gems? I have faith that Howie Roseman can do that, and Joe Douglas can do that. So forget what number it is, but in the 4th round, Philadelphia Eagles are going to add another receiver to the wide receiver room, and I think that receiver is going to be Kelvin Harmon out of North Carolina State. Very big frame, 6'2", 218 pounds, can make the tough catches, very good route runner. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to need to add another receiver to this room. And there is a lot of noise about Hollywood Brown out of Oklahoma potentially being that guy. But I don't have us taking Hollywood Brown, at least for the time being. So Kelvin Harmon, I think, is a guy that you can bring in. He can play solid. He can give Alshon Jeffrey a breather once in a while. Very, very solid player that could develop into a really good player given the right amount of time. And I think he would be a very good pick for this team. Supposedly he runs like a 4.55 40-yard dash. So he does have a little bit of speed. Maybe not blazing speed. Maybe not Deshaun Jackson speed. Not Hollywood Brown speed. But he's got a good amount of speed. He is no slouch when it comes to speed. Good route runner. Kelvin Harmon from NC State. That would be a good pick for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 4th round. That's it, guys, for the mock draft. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I really don't. I mean, I know you guys think I'm a smart guy and everything. But don't let my looks fool you, man. I'm really not that smart. I just come across like a smart guy, like a draft expert, but I'm really not. I have no clue who's going to still. I know players that could be there in the 5th and 6th and 7th round, but I really don't have a damn clue. I also don't have a damn clue how this draft is going to go because this team is way too unpredictable. There could be trading up, there could be trading back, there could be all kinds of shit that goes down in this draft, man. I'm excited for it though. I'm very, very excited for the draft. Let me know what you guys think about my picks in the draft. Would you guys be cool with this draft, or would you prefer some other players? Throw some names in the comment section below if you want to. And yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Zeros for the most, getting out of here.
Damn, you should've never doubted me. The pain and the struggle followed me. My daddy never been that bothered me. And these cold streets made a man of me. No time.